Alright guys, in the last video we set up our registration form and we're able to now register and the user goes into MySQL. Now we want to take care of the login. So let's go to our app.py file and I'm going to put this right below the register. So we'll go right here and let's say user login. And we're going to create a route, so @app.route. Okay, and in here we're going to say /login. And then we also want to add the methods here because we want to be able to accept a post request as well as a get. So in here we'll say get and post. And then we'll define a function called login. And then we want to check to see if the request method is post, just like we did with the registration. So request, if request.method is equal to post, then we want to do something. This is also going to have, actually no, this isn't going to have an else, but we do want to go down one on the same level as the if and do a return and render the template. Okay, we're going to render login.html. Alright, so if it is submitted, if the form is submitted, then we want to first get the username and password from from the form. So let's say get form fields. So username, and we can get that from request.form, and then in these brackets we're going to say username. Okay, now I'm not using WT forms for the login like I did with like the registration because we really don't need it. So getting the form value is a little different. We're doing request.form username. Up here we did form.name.data. Okay, just wanted to point that out. Now the password that's submitted in the form, I'm actually going to call that password candidate. And we're going to set that to request.form password. Okay, I'm putting candidate because I want the actual correct password that we get from the database to be put in password, and then we want to compare the two. Alright, so we have these two values. Now we want to create a database, a cursor. Okay, so we can say cur equals mysql dot connection dot cursor. Okay, then we want to get user by username. So what we'll do is create a variable called result and set that to the cursor dot execute. And in here we're going to do select all from users where username is equal to, and then we're going to use this %s. Okay, and then the next parameter is going to be inside these brackets what we want that s to be, which is going to be username. Okay, which is this. It's the one being passed into the form. Alright, so now what we want to do is check the results. We're going to say if result is greater than 0. So this is basically if there's any rows found. Then we're going to get the stored hash. Alright, yeah, let's set a variable called data, and then we're going to use cursor.fetch1. Okay, that should be all lowercase. Now what this does is it looks at this query, it matches the first one it finds, and that's what it'll take is fetch. It's only going to fetch one. So even if there were more users with that username, it's just going to get the first one. All right, and then we can get the password from that, okay, from that query. So we can get it with data password. All right, now if this doesn't work for you, then you probably don't have this right here, okay, because we're treating it as a dictionary because that's what it's giving back to us. By default, it's going to give you a tuple, which would be formatted differently. So make sure you do have that configuration value. All right, where was I? So we're getting the password from the database. Now, what we want to do is compare the passwords. So let's do if, and then we're going to use our SHA-256 underscore crypt dot salt. And let's see, we want to pass in, oh, not salt, what am I doing? It's crypt.verify. Yeah, SHA-256 crypt.verify, and we want to pass in first the password candidate, and then second the actual password that we got from the database for that user. Now, for now, what I'm going to do is just log. I'm just going to log either pass or fail. Okay, so if this matches, if it's verified, then let's say app.logger.info. Okay, this is how we can actually log stuff to the console. And let's just say password matched. Okay, now this here, if this is false, that means that there wasn't even a user by that name. So we want to put an else for that. I probably should have did that earlier, but that's going to go right here. So else, then let's just do app.logger.info, and we'll just say no user. All right, so let's try that. Okay, we need to create the template first. So let's say new file and templates, login.html. Now for this template, I'm just going to paste this in because it's really simple. We're extending the layout. Block body, we have an H1. Sorry about that. Then we're including the messages partial in case there's any messages, and then a form, which is a post, and it has a username with the input text, name is username, and for the value we're putting in request.form.username. So if something happens and the form's refreshed, we want the value to stay. Same with the password. All right, so let's go ahead and save that, and then let's go back to app.py. And actually, no, that should be fine. We're just rendering login. So let's try to go to /login. Okay, that didn't work. Invalid syntax. Let's see, what did I do here? Oh, I forgot the colon. All right, so if we go to login, there's our form. So I'm just going to submit just crap and press submit. Inf, let's see. Right here is missing the O on the end here. You guys probably saw that. All right, so let's reload. Okay, and I want to look at the console now, and it says no user. Okay, because there is no user of this. Now, if I match the user, we know that there's one in there of Brad, and the password's 123456. So if I say Brad and password that doesn't match and submit, and we look, we're not getting anything there. Let's see. So what we want to do is just add an else right here, and then we'll just log password, say password not matched. Okay, and then let's try it. Look in the console, password not matched. So now I'm going to put the correct login in, submit, and we look at it and we get password matched. All right, so the logic is all there for the login. Now we just need the loading of the templates and all that. Okay, and then we want to create our session. Okay, when we log in, we want to establish a session and we want to store the username in a session variable as well. So we'll go back to, let's actually do the else. So this right here, if there's no user found, what we want to do is just re-render the template. So we'll say return render template, and we're going to render login.html. Now, what I want to do is I want to pass along the error. So right above that, let's say error equals, and we'll say username not found. But this keyboard is really fucking with me. Alright, so login HTML, we have this error, we're going to pass that along. And then we're going to do the same thing for this. Let's copy that. Okay, so this will just say invalid login. Okay, and then we'll pass along the error. So let's save that. Now we need to output this error somewhere within the template. So I'm going to go back to the messages file, the include for messages, and go right here. And we're just going to do, we're going to say if error so if there's an error, then we're going to display a div with the class of alert and alert danger. Whoops. And we just want to output the actual error. All right, now I also want to be able to send a regular success message, so let's paste that in, and we'll say if MSG, and then this will be alert success, and then MSG. Okay, so this takes care of messages if we're redirecting to a link and we need it to basically get flashed, and then these will take care of if we want to render a template and pass along either an error or a message. So hopefully that makes sense. But let's try this so far. Whoops. Yeah, so we'll try it. Let's actually add a login link to the navbar. Okay, so now we'll go login, submit. Let's see, render template takes exactly one argument, 2 given. The hell is it talking about? You can do 2. So return render template. Oh, we have to say error equals error. All right, hold on a second. Submit. Why is it in 2 places? What the hell? Oh, I included the messages here. That's right. So just gotta get rid of that. That's the login HTML page. There we go. All right. So username not found. Now if I do the correct username and the wrong password, we get invalid login. So there's 2 different messages for each situation. So now we need to handle if it actually works. Okay, so let's go to app.py, and this is where it passes. We can get rid of this. Let's just put a comment here that says passed. Whoops. All right, so what we want to do if everything passes is we want to create some session variables. So you should have imported session up above here. Right here, it comes from Flask. All right, so we'll do session, where are we? So session, and then we'll have a value for logged in. And we're going to set that to true. All right, and then we also want the username stored Okay, we'll set that equal to the username variable, which is right here. Okay, it comes in from the form. So once we set those, we'll go ahead and just flash a message here. We'll just say you are now logged in, and that's going to be a success message. And then we want to redirect let's redirect to dashboard, which we haven't created yet. Okay, and then I just want to close the connection here. So let's see, that should be right here. We'll say cur.close. All right. So I guess we could see if this works, even though we don't have a you know what, let's create the dashboard first before we do that, because I'm pretty sure it's going to work. So in app.py, let's go down here and let's do app.route, and this is going to be for /dashboard. Yeah, /dashboard, then we'll say def dashboard, and then we want to return render template dashboard.html. Okay, now we need to create that in the templates. So let's go ahead and extend layout. Okay, then we need our block. Okay, so in here for now, I'm just going to put in an H1. Whoops. And this is going to say dashboard. And then I'm also going to put in a small tag here. And it's going to say welcome. And then whatever the username. Now we can get that from session.username. So let's go ahead and try this. So log in, submit, and there we go. You're now logged in, we're in the dashboard, and we're seeing the username here. Now we also want to obviously log out, so let's go ahead and create that route. So in app.py, I'm going to go right below login and above dashboard. I should be commenting these actually. Let's go up here and make sure. Yeah, so this will be user register. This will be, we'll say register form class, and then this will be single article index. All right. So let's see, where are we? Logout. Okay, so let's do app route. Okay, this is going to be to logout or /logout. And all we have to do here is do session.clear. Okay, and that'll kill the session. And then flash. That's going to be a success message. And then let's go ahead and just return redirect. and that's going to go back to the login page. Okay. So let's put a logout link in the navbar. I'll just copy this. Okay, so that's going to be logout. Logout. So let's click logout, and now we're logged out. Now we need a way to check to see if the user's logged in, to be able to access a page, a certain page, for instance, the articles or add article, or even logged out. They shouldn't be able to log out if they're not logged in. We also want to hide some of these. So when we're logged in, we don't want to see register and log in. That doesn't make any sense. So let's first do the hiding of the links. Okay, so right now we're logged out. We shouldn't see the link logout. So let's go to our navbar, and we can just, all we have to do is test for the session. All right, so under here, we'll do an if session dot logged in. Then we want to show, if we're logged in, we want to show log out. So I'm just going to move this, actually. We're going to cut that and put that here. And then we're going to have an else. Actually, no, there's no colon there. So else, then we want the register and log in. Okay, and then we'll just end it. So this will be end if. So let's save that. And now we don't see the log out. So if we go ahead and log in, now we're logged in, and all we see is the logout. Let's also put a dashboard link there as well, which they should only see if they're logged in. So that'll go right here. Awesome. So the last thing we need to do here is make it so that if we're logged out, we can't see the dashboard link, but if we go to the URL manually, it lets us in, and that's obviously not good. So for this, we're going to use a decorator. Okay, so it's a special kind of function that we can actually add to any route we want. Let me just open this up in the documentation. So we'll say flash decorators, or Flask, not Flash. So this gives you some sample snippets. I want this simple authorization, and this is how we need to format it. Okay, so we create a function. Inside the function, we have a wrapper, and then that's going to wrap around this this wrapped, or whatever you want to call it. I believe you don't have to use wrapped. And then you pass in this args, and then you have your logic, and basically it's an if statement. We'll say if the user's logged in, then we're not going to do anything. If they are not, then they're going to get booted out to the login, and they'll get a flash message saying they're unauthorized. All right, so we're going to do something similar to that, and it's a little tough to wrap my head around this quargs right here. I'm not exactly sure what these are for. This is probably the one part of this application I don't fully understand. All right, so we're going to go to app.py, and we're going to put this decorator right above the logout, right after the login. So we'll say check if user logged in. So let's create a function, and we're going to call this is logged in. Now this is going to take in a parameter f, and then what we want to do is say wraps, pass in that f value, and then we want to define wrap, and we put that weird args thing in here. Okay, and then this is where we put our logic. So what we're going to do is check the session for that logged in value. So if logged in session, this needs a colon right here too. So if logged in session, then we're going to return that f value, that f function, and pass in the args and quargs. Else, then what do we want to do? Well, we want to set a flash message. Oops. And that's going to say unauthorized, please log in. And then that's going to be an error message, so we want to use danger right here. Okay, and then we want to return and redirect URL 4, and we're going to kick them out to the login page. Okay, and then on this level, this right here, this same level as the wrap, we want to just return wrap. Alright, so that should do it, I believe. Now, if we want to use this on any route, for instance, dashboard, we can just go on the next line here, we can say @is logged in. And hopefully that works. Let's check it out. So right now, whoops, what happened? File, line 118, wraps is not defined. Oh, you know what? We actually have to bring wraps in. So up here, we just need to say from, and this is going to be from func tools, import wraps. Okay, because it just didn't know what that was. Alright, so let's save that. Wow, we've written a lot of code so far. Okay, so now it's running. Let's reload. Let's try to go to dashboard while we're not logged in. And it brings us to login and tells us we're unauthorized. If we do go ahead and log in, we can go to the dashboard. Alright, so I believe that our registration and login system is complete. So what we want to do now is, or next in the next video, is start on the articles. Okay, we want on the dashboard, we should have a button that says add article. We should also be able to view them and edit, delete them. All right, so thanks for watching, guys. I appreciate you sticking with this series or this project, and I will see you in the next video.